everyone, and welcome back to Fluent English Room, where learning English is easy and fun. I'm Emily.
And I'm Ethan. Hello, Emily's, and hello to all our wonderful listeners tuning in from their rooms, their cars, or maybe while they are pretending to study but are actually watching us.
Hey, watching English videos is productive. Ethan, you look very energized today. Did you have a good sleep?
I did. I slept like a baby. But I am also feeling very inspired because I saw a quote today. Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done.
Wow, that is a powerful sentence. It's perfect for our topic today because learning complex grammar can be tiring, but we aren't going to stop until we are done.
Exactly. Today, we are talking about something very emotional and powerful. Could have and could have been.
These are the structures of the imaginary past. They help us talk about things that were possible but didn't happen, or things we regret.
But before we dive in, we have a small favor to ask our friends.
Yes, if you like our stories and our English tips, please click that like button right now. It helps our channel reach more learners around the world.
And please subscribe to Fluent English Room. We want you to be part of our family and learn with us every week. If you're ready to learn, comment the word imagine below.
So, Ethan, I heard you had a bit of a story from last weekend involving a homemade pizza.
Oh, don't remind me. I was so excited. I bought the dough, the cheese, and the tomatoes. I thought, this is easy. I can finish this in 1 hour.
1 hour? You are very optimistic, Ethan. So, what happened?
I waited 20 minutes for the pizza to cook, but when I opened the oven, it was still cold. I forgot to turn the oven on.
Oh no, that could have been a disaster.
It was. It could have been delicious, but instead it was just cold dough.
Listeners, did you hear that Ethan said it could have been delicious? This is our topic. We use could have plus the past participle to talk about a past possibility that didn't happen.
Right. The structure is simple. Subject plus could have plus past participle. For example, I could have turned on the oven, but I didn't. I could have eaten pizza, but I ended up eating a bowl of cereal instead.
It's about ability or possibility in the past. If you say, I could go, that's the present. But I could have gone means the event already happened and you stayed home.
Let's use another story. Remember my trip to the park? I had a perfect sandwich with cheese and fresh tomatoes.
Ah, yes, the story of the squirrel.
Yes, I looked at my phone for just 1 second and whoosh, a squirrel grabbed my lunch and ran up a tree.
You could have caught him if you were faster.
Maybe I could have grabbed the sandwich, but it happened so fast. 1 second it was in my hand, the next second it was in the tree.
This is a great example of could have for actions. But what about could have been?
Good question. We use could have been for a state or a situation. For example, that could have been dangerous. If the squirrel was an angry squirrel, he could have been scary.
Or the situation could have been worse. At least he didn't steal your phone, too.
That's true. When we use could have been, we usually follow it with an adjective like scary, dangerous, better, or worse.
I had an imaginary past moment last Saturday, too. My sister and I went to the cinema to see a romantic comedy.
But you walked into the wrong room, right?
Yes, it was dark and suddenly a monster appeared on the screen. We were in a horror movie by mistake. I dropped half my popcorn.
Oh, Emily, you could have checked the door number.
I know! We could have been sitting in a nice, funny movie, but instead we were screaming at a monster.
That sentence, you could have checked, sounds a little bit like criticism, doesn't it?
It does. In English, we often use could have to point out a missed chance or to give a little bit of mild blame, like saying, you could have told me the oven was off, Ethan.
Hey, don't blame me. But you're right. It shows reflection. We think about how things could have been different.
Now, Ethan, this is where it gets tricky. Many learners mix up could have, would have, and should have.
They do look similar. but they carry different emotions.
Let's use your shaky bookshelf story. You worked until 10 p.m. to fix it.
I did. My back was hurting and I was exhausted.
If you were talking to a friend, you might say, I could have stopped at 5 p.m. It was a possibility, but I chose to keep going. I should have stopped at 5 p.m. I feel guilty because now my back hurts. It was the right thing to do. I would have stopped at 5 p.m., but I wanted my books off the floor. I had a plan or intention, but a reason changed it.
Wow, that makes it very clear. Could have is about possibility. Should have is about the correct thing or a regret. Would have usually needs a reason, something that stopped you or pushed you.
Exactly. English is very emotional.
Emily, I noticed that when you speak fast, you don't say could have. It sounds different.
You're right. Native speakers often say could've or even coulda, like I could have gone or it could have been worse.
If our listeners don't recognize that sound, they might get confused. Let's practice that rhythm. Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Good. And we have to mention one very common grammar mistake. We never say I could have went.
No, never. After have, we must use the past participle, the third form of the verb. So it's I could have gone, she could have seen, or they could have finished.
If you are still listening and practicing your grammar, comment the word finish below. It shows us you are a champion and you aren't going to quit.
You know, Emily, learning these imaginary past structures is like your 5K run.
How so?
At kilometer number 4, your legs felt like lead. Your brain said, stop, you are tired. Many learners feel that way when they see long grammar rules.
That is the most important moment. If you stop when you're tired, you don't reach the goal. If you stop when you're done, you're a speaker.
I use my 5-minute rule. When this grammar feels too hard, I say to Emily, just 5 more minutes. Usually after 5 minutes, my brain wakes up and I finish the lesson.
That is a winning mindset. Remember, friends, done is better than perfect.
Like my bookshelf, it has a small scratch and it's a bit crooked, but it holds the books. Your English doesn't have to be perfect. If you communicate your idea using could have, you are done with that conversation.
Communication, not perfection.
Let's do a quick recap. Could have plus past participle equals a past action that was possible but didn't happen. Could have been plus adjective equals a past situation or state that was possible. It's used for regret, relief, criticism, or surprise.
And don't forget the pronunciation, could've.
Before we go, we have a challenge for you. Think about your own life. What is one thing you could have done differently last weekend?
Or what is something that could have been a disaster but ended up being okay? Write your answer in English in the comments.
We love reading your stories. They give us the energy to keep making these podcasts for you.
Thank you so much for listening today. You are all doing a great job. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep smiling.
Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done.
Exactly. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.